Hi, I'm Pete, Eco Fires and Stoves. Just coming out of the colder weather now, so I think it's a good time to start thinking about your stove for next year. There's quite a few things to think about. I thought I'd do this video quickly because in the past year there's been a lot of uptake. There's been a big uptake on the sales of wood burners. A lot of people don't really have too much of an idea what to do. It's not rocket science, anything like that, but just a few little tips that might make it a little bit easier when you need it again when the colder weather comes in. So I'm going to talk about what I would be recommending people to do this time of year. So they've stopped using their wood burners. They've had good use out of them over the winter months. So you now need to think about sweeping your chimney, making sure that's ready for the next season, getting wood in, storing your wood, all these little things that you need to be doing in the springtime, really. That's the best time to do it. So straight away, go into the maintenance of the stove. What you need to do is get a professional sweep in to sweep that chimney and service your stove. Servicing means changing seals, changing anything that's cracked like fire bricks in them, things like that. It's not usually on a brand new stove within the first year, but it's things you should still be getting checked out. So use a proper stove specialist stroke sweep. Okay, plenty of them about. There's some good ones out there. Most people use local companies. Go by recommendation, whatever area you're in. You know, with social media and what have you, it's a good way of getting good recommendations in. So that's vital. You get that done. Don't leave it till the last minute when it starts to get cold in the autumn months, because you won't get it done in time. There's just too much for these guys to do at the moment. There's not enough sweeps out there, so get them booked in early. With your wood, so you've used your wood supply up. If you're new to the stove scene, then you would have got a good idea how much you're going to use in that first year that you've used it, or the first season. So make sure you, if anything, overdo it a bit for the next year. So get hold of your wood supplier, whether it be barn stored, seasoned, kiln dried. There's some great companies out there. Again, all locals. We've got local companies we use around here. If you need any recommendations, just phone up and ask, no problem. Get that in early. Make sure it's stored properly, plenty of ventilation. Get your information from sites, from the HETAS site that's out there. All about storing the wood properly, making sure it dries out or keeps drying. The trouble is, at the moment, a bit of a short supply because it's got extremely busy. You could find that the wood needs a little bit longer to dry out properly. Get it in your barn store, in your store, in your garden, and give it the summer months to dry out even more. Also, keep some indoors. Ideal to have somewhere to store in the room, obviously away from the stove, not next to the stove like a lot of people do. You see some people storing it next to the stove to dry it out. A bad idea, that will catch fire. So keep it in a basket or a modern tower like this, or just stacked up outside, letting it dry out from the warmth from your room as well. That's important. You do that all the while you're using your stove as well, and your kindling. Okay, make sure you've got your accessories, anything that you found you like to use or you think you might get good use out of the next season. Fire lighters. Obviously everyone's going eco-friendly now. We do these natural fire lighters. Okay, so we used to sell the ones little petroleum packets. People used to love them. We've been selling these for the last year. People love them even more. So they're a great thing to have. Nice and eco-friendly. We do our own brand here. £15 a box. People like their long matches, so they're not burning their fingers. You can get these. They're readily available. They're about £3 a box, and that means you can get to the back of the stove or under your kindling or whatever. They're a nice little thing. Popular little choice. Glass cleaner. Always important to have that in. For the next season, just get it in, and you've got it then. One bottle is going to last you at least a season, so no problem. One of the most popular things we sell, from the last video I mentioned these little brush sets, little magnetic brush sets. People absolutely love them. The comments we get, oh, thank you for sending that out. They're saying things like it's changed their life. Oh, okay, but whatever. But they're great because they're square. They get into the corners of the stove. They're small, short, so that you're not bashing the fire bricks with this great big long handles, which are really designed for open fires. These things are brilliant, simple. Between 25 and 35 pound delivered, these things, and we can send those out to you. They do. It's not a stainless steel; it's called a satin steel, and they do a plain black one as well. Exactly the same, but just in plain black finish. So they're brilliant. If you are storing your wood in, we sell these little moisture meters. So you literally just stick it in your wood. It gives you a reading, tells you straight away whether they're okay to burn, under 20% moisture. If your wood isn't burning, it's usually going to be your wood. You stick that in your wood once you split it, and if it says anything over 20%, that's going to be your problem. Okay, and it's just nice and reassuring to know that's what the problem is. That's why these are great, because straight away you know that's the problem. It's not your stove at fault. It's not your flue at fault. It's going to be your wood. Your stove, if you've got a good stove service engineer, they'll be spraying your stove up for you. You can do it yourself, buying tins of high temperature paint. You can get them in aerosols, you can get them in tins as well. So there's just a few little things. Oh, one more thing. People like these. Just goes on your flue, tells you your flue temperature. Just a little visual indicator that your stove is running at the right temperature. Okay? That's what we do. Oh, one more thing. Not very interesting, I know. But what that is, it's a fireproof mat. Okay? So if you've got carpet or rug nearby and you don't want to get anything falling out like embers or anything like that, or if you've got light coloured stone hearth that can get stained with a little bit of ember that falls out onto it, this is a fireproof mat. It's called a loading mat. Stick it in front of your door, then it enables you to open your door and let any embers fall off the door onto the mat rather than onto your nice stone hearth. You know, a simple thing can save you a bit of hassle, you know, cleaning stone up or little marks in your carpet, that sort of thing. Lots of these things are available now for stove users. We sell pretty much everything. So give us a ring if you want something sent out. Obviously, you've got Amazon and what have you to find these things as well, because people all over the world are actually phoning me up and asking me for these things. So we can't deal with everyone, unfortunately, especially when it comes to postage. Okay, so that's it really. Nothing else I can add to that. Just make sure you're set up for the next season. Any issues with the stove, get it sorted out and you're going to get another season's enjoyment out of it. Do not leave it at the last minute, because that's the big problem. Okay, thank you.